Wherever you have joined me from this evening, you are welcome. Blessings, Mosugu, I see you, you're welcome. Fiyikemi Bangboshe, you're welcome. Lavinda Jones, Obianuju Anita, you are welcome. Thank you for joining me. Grace KC26, you're welcome. Hope Omojua, I see you, you're welcome. It's going to be a beautiful time this evening. Do me a favor. For those on YouTube, for those on Facebook, why don't you share the link with your friends? Mayowa Babatunde, you're welcome this evening. For those on Instagram Live, please tag your friends in the comments. Do it right away. Tag your friends and your loved ones in the comments. It's a special session this evening. Go ahead, tag your friends, tag your loved ones in the comments. Let them know that we're having a beautiful Q&A session this evening. Our topic is 20 questions on relationships. That's what we're looking at. We're going to be dealing with these very unique questions this evening. So go ahead, tag your friends, tag your loved ones. Let them know that we are live. Do it right away, do it right away, do it right away. I'm waiting for you. Mayo Ababatunde, thank you very much. Such a joy to also have you here. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead. I'm waiting for you. Folks on YouTube and Facebook. Send the link to your friends. Okay. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's special edition of Life and Leadership with P. Shags. Our topic for today is 20 questions on relationships. 20 questions on relationships. Now, listen to this. I'm not going to be answering the questions all by myself. We want it to be very interactive this evening. So it's your opportunity to also share your perspective with my viewers, with our friends and loved ones who are joining us on this session and who are going to be watching this later. So the moment I ask a question, please share your perspective. As a matter of fact, I will read some of your responses perhaps before I give my own response to each question. But you want to do me a favor, you want to type fast and keep the responses very concise so that we can cover everybody and cover as much ground as possible. For those on Facebook, for those on YouTube, I'm going to endeavor to also read your comments today. Okay, I've putting measures in place to make sure that I'm able to read your comments. I'm able to share what you are sharing also on that platform with everybody here. All right, so let's start from the first question. Let me quickly make sure that everybody is here. I want to make sure I'm seeing Facebook and YouTube. Okay. So if you have any comments on Facebook and YouTube, I'll probably be able to see them this evening. But let's start with the first question. Those on Facebook and YouTube will be able to read the questions along with me. The first question says, what do you do when you try avoiding an unhealthy relationship, but the other person sees it as pride? What do you do when you try avoiding an unhealthy relationship, but the other person sees it as pride? Of course, you know that quite a number of these questions are coming from the discussions we've had before now, especially this series that we rounded up last Wednesday, Network, Building Strategic Relationships. This person actually sent in his question at the end of the session last week Okay, so if you have a response, if you want to share your thoughts, your perspective on this question, please quickly do so right away. And then I'm going to give my response also. What do you do when you try to avoid an unhealthy relationship, but the other person sees it as pride? Okay, I will try and share my perspective. Please share yours in the comments. Regardless of the platform you are on, I'll be able to see your comments, and then I can read out your comments to everybody. Now, this is what I will say to that person. You were not designed for everybody. Not everybody can relate with you or relate with you on your frequency. So there are people who are going to misunderstand, okay, your position, the fact that you are trying to put some boundaries in the relationship, and the other person is perceiving it as you are a snob or you are proud. You see, what you need to do is to satisfy your conscience that you are not, and as much as possible, be courteous. Okay, as much as possible, be courteous. But if you have come to the conclusion that this relationship is toxic or this relationship is unhealthy, by all means, give the relationship some distance. If the person misconstrues your position over time, they will get it. The most important thing is that you make sure that you are courteous. It is important that we are nice to everybody, but we are not obliged to be close to everybody. But that person over time will get it, honestly speaking. And if the person does not get it, there is nothing you can do for the person to get it. If the relationship is unhealthy, it is not good enough for you. Okay, please let's send in our comments. If you want to respond to any of the questions, send in your comments right away. If I don't see any comments, I'll move on to the next question. Because of time, I want us to make sure we are done in maximum of 40 minutes so that those who are going to watch later or listen to the audio later can cover the material in good time. Okay, but as your comments come in, I would also read and it will add to this conversation. Okay, so let's proceed to the second question. The second question says, how do you balance showing your team members that you care about them, but not letting this get in the way of producing results without seeming insensitive? Let me read it again. How do you balance showing your team members that you care about them, but not letting things get in the way of producing results? So this is like a team leader or a manager who is trying to strike a balance between caring for the people that you lead and also ensuring that the team produces results. This is what I am going to say. You are not supposed to choose one or the other. Okay? You've got to learn to genuinely care for the people that you lead. You see, you can lead people without loving them. But the best way to lead people is to love them first. John Maxwell says that a leader touches a heart before asking for a hand. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Good. So the person is saying, how do I show these people that I care? Be sensitive to them. Be considerate of them. Let it be obvious in your choice of words, in your tone of voice, in your body language, and in your decision making that you truly care for your team members. Be thoughtful of them. Let your decisions reflect that you have them in mind. Okay, that's important. Then on the flip side, let everybody know at the outset what the result is that you want to achieve and what are the systems that you have put in place to achieve those results. And this is most important, what are the consequences of not hitting these targets or not meeting these results? So from the outset, let it be clear to everybody. Okay, let me say that again so that somebody understands what I'm saying. On the one hand, let the fact that you care for them be reflected in your choice of words, in your tone of voice, in your body language, in the decisions that you make. Let it be obvious that you care for your team members. Truly be considerate of them. But on the other hand, from the outset, define the goal, define the objective. Let everybody be clear as to what the result is that we want to achieve. But let it also be clear, this will be the consequence if we don't achieve this result. Let me give an example. Let's say for your organization, punctuality is very important. It's one of your core values. You want people to be punctual. Let everybody know, when a person comes late twice in a row without a cogent reason, this will be the consequence of such an action. When it is time for you to, let's now assume you have one of your team members who has violated that standard, okay, based on what everybody has agreed ahead of time. When it is time for you to judge the person or sanction the person, this is important. Make sure that you are dealing with the action and not the person. You are meting out consequences, or better still, judgment for the person's action, while you let the person know, I care about you, but I am going to have to respond to what you have done. Because you see, people are not what they do. And at every point in time, a leader or a manager must always let people understand it's about what you did. It's not about who you are. What does that mean? In your choice of words, in relating with these people, in talking with them, you still want to be respectful. You still want to be courteous, even though you are telling the person, I'm sorry, you are no longer going to be able to work with us on this team, or I am sorry, you're not going to be able to serve with us for the next 2 weeks. You know, this is the consequence we all agreed to as to what will follow this type of action. I'm really very sorry, but you have to go home now. The person knows it is what I have done that is bad. It is not my person that is bad. So separate actions from the person, and it will be clear to everybody on the team that our leader cares. Let me say this to you. The way you treat an erring member of the team communicates to other members, okay, how they are going to be treated in the future. It's important. The way you treat an erring member right now communicates to every other person on the team how you are going to treat them in the future. So if they think you are harsh, if they think you are not sensitive or you are not caring enough, some of them will not wait to get into trouble before they check out of your team. So it's important that we know that we let people know you are important. I care about you, but on the other hand, actions have consequences, and sometimes I may have to respond to what you have done, even though I care for your person. Okay, that's question number 2. From the look of things, you guys are leaving me to this by myself this evening. This is supposed to be interactive. To every question, I want to read some comments. I want to read your perspective to these questions. When I answer 5 questions and I don't read any comments, I'm going to pause until I read a comment, until I read your perspective. I will not answer any other question. But let's move on. Question number 3. This one is a relationship-related question. The person says, how does one handle a sexually active spouse? Don't get me wrong, he is faithfully monogamous, but I am not always in the mood. It's like a chore for me. Just touching me arouses him. I've tried, but I feel like I'm letting him down. What do I do? For the benefit of those on MixLR and on Instagram Live, let me read the question again. How does one handle a sexually active spouse? Don't get me wrong, he is faithfully monogamous, but I am not always in the mood. It's like a chore for me. Just touching me arouses him. I've tried, but I feel like I'm letting him down. What do I do? I think at this point, I want people to respond first before I say what I am going to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, help this friend of ours. I need about 3 comments. Okay, 3 responses to this question before I respond. In the next 5 seconds, if I don't see a response, I will call out some names. I have some of my very good friends here, wise and intelligent people who are going to help me out. So wherever you are on, okay, either Facebook or YouTube or MixLR, go ahead and send in your response to that question. Okay, Adufedakwa says, work on your mood. Sir, what do you mean? What exactly is she supposed to do? I really want to read from ladies especially. Okay, Ebuade Doyin says they should have a conversation about it. Speak to a counselor as well. Good advice. You are that counselor. Please offer us your counsel this evening. The person says perhaps the timing of his advances need to be addressed. Okay. Thank you very much. Perhaps the timing of his advances need to be addressed. Facebook people, I am waiting on you. Wisdom Johnson says on Facebook, check, change. That's not what we're talking about. Josephine, it's not a laughing matter. Please give us your response. Okay, Swanta Special says therapy is a good option. Okay. So everybody, I like your comments, but I want real solutions. Okay, what exactly should this person do? I wish somebody would be able to speak from experience. Maybe not your own experience, but somebody else's experience. Somebody you know that has dealt with this. How did they handle it? Okay, how did they handle it? Please help me out and help our friend out this evening. I have 7 people watching on YouTube, so I need a response from you. Our special captain on YouTube, we want to hear from you. Special captain on Facebook, we want to hear from you. Okay, right, thank you very much. Yeah, we have some good response here. Women have a time when they are most receptive. Okay, usually when they are ovulating. I see. Okay. Any other person before I give my 2 cents? Okay. Any other person before I give my 2 cents? Okay, thank you very much for your response. For the benefit of those who did not see the question before, it says, how does one handle a sexually active spouse? Don't get me wrong, he's faithfully monogamous, but I am not always in the mood. It's like a chore for me. Just touching me arouses him. I've tried, but I feel like I'm letting him down. What do I do? Okay, I've got a response on Facebook that says, I think they should talk about it. The lady especially can be upfront about how she feels. Okay, but then you say in a polite way, though. Okay. All right, thank you very much. What is popularly called? Okay, yeah, thank you. What is popularly called on heat? Okay, let me give my 2 cents. From 15 years of marriage, this is what I have found out, both from personal experience and from other people's experience. Okay, Uncle Aramide wants to know, is she attracted to him? I doubt that. See, I think it's not a problem. It's not an issue of attraction. Okay, this is what I have found out, that ordinarily, okay, most of the time, men have a stronger desire for sex than women. Most of the time. It is not all the time. Okay, but averagely, the average man has a stronger sex drive than his wife. What I have found out, or what I think needs to happen, is the lady needs to step up, the man needs to step down. In marriage, adjustment is very, very important. Adjustment is very, very important. The lady needs to step up, the man needs to slow down. One of the reasons why when we were single, especially people of faith, you are taught to be, what's that word I'm looking for now? Celibate, is because of self-control. If a person develops proper self-control before they get married, then when they get married, they will be able to control themselves, because now it will become habitual. And this is what I'm saying. The man may want to say, make love with his wife about, let's say, 4 times a week, hypothetically, and the lady can only handle twice a week. This guy needs to be able to slow down, control himself, and reduce his 4 to 3. This lady ought to be able to increase her 2 to 3. But before that will happen, like somebody has said here, they need to sit down and have a conversation. Since it's the lady that is asking a question, she's in a very good position to call a meeting and say, you know what, let's talk about this. And let me say this to you, the moment it is the lady that is calling the meeting, okay, she's already scoring points with the guy, because that communicates to the guy she cares. She wants to satisfy me. Okay, let's have this conversation. And in that conversation, she should let him know how she feels, okay, and what she thinks they can do to make things better. He must be willing to slow down. She must be willing to step up. Good. So let me address the lady now. Let's assume now the guy is willing to slow down. So he can go from his desire of 4 times a week to say 3 times a week. But what can this lady do to step up? Study yourself. Okay. When are you mostly in the mood? Okay. Communicate it to him. Which time of the day do you prefer? Communicate it to him. Something else I've seen that works for some couple is fixing dates ahead of time. You know, ladies, you will hear complain about, oh, I'm tired. If you work in a busy city like Lagos, for example, I mean, you can't go all the way from morning till evening working and all of that and not be tired. But when it's at the back of your mind, because we have this appointment, we have scheduled it, you can consciously conserve energy, knowing fully well that, look, this thing is important to my spouse. And this is what I found out about men. When they see their lady making an effort, they appreciate it. The guy that says, I want to slow down from 4 to 3 can slow down actually from 4 to 2 because he notices that his lady is keen. She's making an effort. The other thing I found out is this. Don't focus on frequency and focus on the experience. Don't focus on frequency as much as you focus on the experience. In other words, focus on quality time. Make sure that the time you guys have together is so memorable. The next time you have to say no, okay, the guy is merciful because he knows that, look, you are interested, and when you give of yourself, you are there 110%, okay? That's where I would probably want to stop. Like you have been advised, if you want further counsel, seek a professional to discuss further with you. There are books you can read. This is what I've noticed about especially Christian couples. We don't invest in knowledge when it comes to our sexuality. Okay? We don't invest in knowledge. There are very good, clean books you can read that would help you improve your sexuality as a married Christian. Maybe I should recommend one book this evening. I have a couple of them on my iPad. So let me see if I can quickly search and recommend a book that you can read that will really help you when it comes to enjoying your sexuality as a married Christian. Wow, Pastor Kingsley is here. Maybe I should repeat the question so that PK can help us deal with this question. PK, good evening. You're welcome. We have a question we are dealing with here. Let's see whether we can quickly steal PK's time to help us deal with this question. PK, do I have your consent, sir? Hey, okay. Let me ask PK to join us. We can see his voice. See his video. Hear his voice. Let me see. To be good for us to have PK address this question. Okay, let me ask the question, and then, sir, if you can ask to join the video so that we can have your response to this issue. Okay, let me read the question now. How does one handle a sexually active spouse? Don't get me wrong, he is faithfully monogamous, but I am not always in the mood. It's like a chore for me. Just touching me arouses him. I have tried, but I feel like I'm letting him down. What do I do? That's the question. Okay, Pastor Kingsley can't come online, but we will not mind having you send in your response, sir. That would be beautiful. Okay, so the book that I want to recommend by Mark Driscoll. Yes, Mark Driscoll. The book is titled Real Marriage. Real Marriage. The Truth About Sex, Friendship, and Life Together by Mark and Grace Driscoll. Okay, if somebody can help me type it out there. Real Marriage. The Truth About Sex, Friendship, and Life Together. Okay, by Mark and Grace Driscoll. Thank you, Pastor Kingsley. Pastor Kingsley says she should talk to at Wholesome Sexuality. Okay, that's a counselor. It's not normal not to desire or enjoy sex when there is love. Okay, thank you very, very much, sir. So please, if you are the person that sent in that question, copy that Instagram handle and talk to at Wholesome Sexuality so that you can get further counsel. Thank you very much, Pastor Kingsley, for your contribution tonight. And everybody who has contributed, thank you so much. Okay, Wisdom says it's important for her to understand that they are one flesh. And if she's denying him such pleasure, she's denying herself. I think they should have an honest conversation, or a sexual therapist can help. Thank you very, very much for your response. Okay, from YouTube, Helen Daniel says, try to add it to your day. It sounds like she has a busy day and at the end she is exhausted, but she needs to prep for it, whether emotionally or mentally or physically. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next question. This person says, and this is interesting, please listen to this. I was married for over 3 years, and within that period, I found out that I was married to a fraudster. With my good heart and love for God, I tried my best to help him build a good business. I later found out that he never stopped being fraudulent and had added being fetish to it. This started affecting my prayer life, because what does darkness have to do with light? So I left the marriage. My question now is, have I sinned for walking away? Those on YouTube and Facebook can read the questions with me. For those on MixLR and Instagram Live, let me read it again. I was married for over 3 years, and within that period, I found out that I was married to a fraudster. With my good heart and love for God, I tried my best to help him build a good business. I later found out that he never stopped being a fraudster and had added being fetish to it. This started affecting my prayer life, because what does darkness have to do with light? So I left the marriage. My question now is, have I sinned for walking away? Okay. Have I sinned for walking away? Please quickly, anybody who wants to respond to this question, quickly respond to it. I will give my response and then I will read your responses when I'm done. The title of the book, yes, is Real Marriage. Real Marriage, The Truth About Sex, Friendship, and Life Together by Mark and Grace Driscoll. Okay, there are other ones I could recommend, but because of time, that's a good one I have read. It's a very good book. All right. So let's help this other person. She was married for 3 years. In the period of the marriage, she found out she was married to a fraudster. She tried her best to help him build a legitimate business, but the guy never stopped being a fraudster. And after that, he even now started adding, like we call jazz, juju, voodoo to what, he was doing. In other words, he went from Yahoo to Yahoo Plus. She said she couldn't handle it anymore. It started affecting her prayer life, so she left the marriage. Her question is, have I sinned for walking away? Okay, whoever wants to help, please quickly, make it concise, make it quick. Let's help this person. The reason why sometimes I want to see your response first is because the moment I respond, most of the time, every other response follows that perspective. That's why sometimes I want to get your perspective before I respond. I need some fast fingers to type this evening. What do you want to tell this lady? Has she sinned from walking away from a relationship, a marriage to a fraudster, when she found out that this person was a fraudster and he was an unrepentant fraudster? Okay, this is what I'm going to say. First, when I saw this question, my mind went to single ladies, especially. And so my advice first to our single ladies is, listen, marriage does not change people. That's number one. Number two, adults change, but they change slowly and they change on their own terms. Most of the time, you may not know what the person is doing wrong, but unwholesome people, shady people leave clues. The only challenge is when you are in love with the idea of being in love, you deliberately close your eyes to signs and red flags. And I'm going to say this to our ladies, please don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the telltale signs that this person has something to hide or something is not just right here. Number two, if you're a person of faith, the Holy Spirit will not allow you to walk into error. So a lot of times we find ourselves in this kind of situations because we ignore the leading of the Holy Spirit. Okay, before I proceed, let me read Dr. Banji's response. Dr. Banji says, I think leaving the marriage was the safest option. Yes, divorce is something God does not like, but the blood of Jesus covers our past, present, and future sins. Thank you very much. So, what I'm going to say to this person, the question is, have I sinned by walking away? And the answer is yes. Okay, but then, just before you feel overly condemned, then you ask yourself, what is God's response to sin? God's attitude to sin is the moment you acknowledge that you are wrong and you have repented, your sins are forgiven. But if you are somebody that truly wants to please God, then you want to make sure that you are not just walking away, or you have not just walked away with that escapist mindset, and you are not retracing your steps to make sure that you don't make this kind of mistakes again. So you want to take your time. You shouldn't say you have walked away and then before we know it, you have jumped into another relationship. No. Okay? No. As a matter of fact, if you truly want to follow scriptures, then for as long as that man is alive and you are not legally divorced, you cannot even be in another relationship with somebody else. If the man now goes away and marries somebody else, then you are free, okay, from your covenant with him. And I would advise you do it properly, you do it legally, make sure that the divorce is legal, and then move on with your life, with your lessons, making sure that you don't make the same mistake again. But the flip side also is, but is that a legal ground for divorce? No. Some other women who have what it takes will pray for him, will be patient, and they may see the man change. So at the end of the day, you follow your heart. I'm speaking to somebody who may still be in that kind of marriage. If your life is not threatened, if the man is not violent towards you, because what Paul the Apostle said in 1 Corinthians 7 is, if you find yourself married to a non-Christian or an unbeliever, as long as the person is willing to live with you, you don't have to walk away. Okay, you may be in a position to influence the person for good. The other thing I'm now going to say is, but make sure that you are legally protected from the consequences of his actions. Okay, don't aid and abet in his crime. His money must not be traced to you. This is for the person who is inside and who believes, I can stay, I can make a change. Protect yourself legally from the consequences of this guy's action or inaction. Thank you very much. Please, if you have any response to that, quickly share your response so that we can move on. Okay, we have a comment on MixLR that we have not read. Okay, this person is, okay, talk about the question we answered before about the lady who has a low sex drive. You need to check why you are not in the mood. It might be an unresolved issue. This is also important. Sometimes what women okay, see on the surface is I am not interested, I am not willing, I am not desirous. But like this person is saying, there might be underlying issues. You may be angry, may be hurt, you may be offended at your spouse. You may have things in your past that are still bugging you. Okay, you need to dig deep to find out why do you feel the way you feel. Okay, let's move on. We have about 10 more minutes, and this is I think this is our, let me see. So we're moving to our 5th question now. Please shed some light on the need for spouses to give each other a breathing space from time to time. What if one party does not want the other to have friends? Okay, I'll read some of the responses we have, okay, on Instagram Live, and then I'll go back to this question. So let me read some of our responses. Yes, Blessing says, but if she stays with a fetish man, I think by default she's aiding. If not, he might end up using her head for ritual. Well, she's the one in the best position to answer that or to give us that perspective, because to the best of my knowledge, where two powers meet, the lesser power bows. If she's truly a Christian and she's truly a child of God, then she has what it takes to overcome any power of the enemy. But if she is not a strong believer and she is not deeply spiritual, then she might need to take a walk to protect herself. But then if she's not a strong Christian, then walking away is not protection, because in the realm of the spirit, there is no distance. I think the ultimate solution is our Christian ladies should stop marrying for the wrong reasons. That is the ultimate solution. Okay, that is the ultimate. And this is what I'm saying. Walking away does not mean you are protected from the jazz. If the guy is fetish, okay, because there's no distance in the realm of the spirit, he can out of vengeance say, you left me, I will see to it. If you are not strong as a believer, then you are exposed, you are vulnerable. So let's go to this other question that we're looking at right now. Please shed some light on the need for spouses to give each other a breathing space from time to time. What if one party does not want the other to have other friends? Okay, for the sake of our time, let me respond quickly and say, your spouse will never be enough. Okay, please listen to me. Listen to me. Your spouse is enough for you as a spouse, but you need more than your spouse as far as relationships are concerned. So apart from your spouse, you need other friends. Okay, it's important we take note of this. There are people who are so in love with their spouse, and the moment they find the person they are in love with, they break away from every other person, and then that person becomes their world, and they want to do everything together. Listen, if you are that kind of person, you become clingy, you become choky. Especially if you are a lady. You need to understand men fall in love, but they still want to spend time with their friends. So it's healthy for spouses to have other friends, but the two of you must be best of friends, and you must have similar friends. And what I'm saying is this: anybody who is not willing to be friends with your spouse is not fit to be your friend. This is important. Anybody, so as a lady, any male or female friend you have who is not willing to be friends with your husband is not fit to be your friend. As a man, any male friend or female friend you have who is not willing to be friends with your wife is not fit to be your friend. And believe you me, this is going to be tested. Okay, this is going to be tested. If you are not willing to walk away from any friendship because of your marriage, then you are suspect. It's very, very important. You are suspect. Sister IY, good evening. Good to see you here. You're very much welcome. Okay, very much welcome. So, the other part of this question now is, even though we love each other, even though we are always together, please, you need to understand that in as much as you are one flesh, one of the keys to a thriving marriage is also this sense of individuality. Okay, one person must not swallow up the other person. In as much as we are together, we are still two individuals. Okay, so we are supposed to be united. We are not supposed to be uniform. They are two different things. We are to be united, not uniform. In other words, give your spouse space. It is okay for the person to have a different opinion. It is okay for the person to have a different taste or a different desire. Okay, let me give my example for it. My wife loves what you would call those college movies, chick flicks. Okay, I'm an action guy. Okay, for me, in 10 minutes of a movie, if they are not shooting, if nobody has died, I'm not excited. Fiction, no, I'm not violent in real life, but I like action movies. 15 years later, I watch chick flicks, I watch college movies like my wife. She watches action movies, okay, because we have rubbed off on each other. But when push comes to shove, okay, I still am an action guy. She is a drama person. So we're two different people, but we share our lives together. Okay, so sometimes I'm watching a movie on my tablet. She's watching another movie on the TV because at that time, we want to watch something different from each other. One person should now not say to the other person, come and watch what I'm watching with me. The person should be allowed to watch what he or she wants. Let me explain it in another way. You should be so full and overflowing that you are willing to share your life with somebody else. But if the person is not available for sharing, you should enjoy your own company. The moment you are incomplete because the other person is not part of what you are doing, completion is not your problem. Inadequacy and inferiority is your problem. This is very important, and that's the reason why people who suffer from insecurity, low self-esteem, they are not doing anybody a favor by getting married in that state, because now you want the other person to complete you instead of complement you. You are supposed to be complete in Christ. Then your spouse complements you. So if your spouse is not available, you should be able to keep your own company. You should be able to enjoy the company of other friends. The moment you are married to somebody and then you now build your world around that person, you begin to weigh the person down, you begin to choke the person. It is not nice. So we should have some breathing space. A man or a woman should be able to go out with our friends or his friends. You should be able to do what you want, dress the way you want, as long as it is decent. Not, if my husband does not like it, I can know. Sometimes you like something your husband does not like. And there are times when a man wants to eat something and that's not what the woman is willing to cook. Allow him. It's important. Okay, let's not make the conversation to be overly about marriage, but that's my take on that question. Let's move on to the next question. This is question 6. Should I network only with fellow Christians or can I mix with other people? Should I network only with fellow Christians or can I mix with other people? My Baba today says P-Shek is on fire tonight. I'm about to go on strike because you guys you're not giving me the feedback I want. I don't want to be the only one sharing perspective tonight. I want all of us to share. Okay, so this particular question I am not going to answer. I'm going to wait for your response. Okay, should I network only with fellow Christians or can I mix with other people? I'm going to call out some people now. Dr. Abino, I want to see your response. Hope Omojua, I want to see your response. Swanta Special, I want to see your response. Let me see who else is here that I can pick on. Sister IY, I want to see your response. On MixLR, Angel Lafonsos, I want to see your response. Okay. Wisdom on Facebook, let me see your response to this particular question. Should I network only with fellow Christians or can I mix with other people? Let me rephrase the question. What is the rule of engagement, okay, when it comes to networking for Christians? Okay, are we supposed to just fraternize with ourselves, or what are the principles we must adhere to when we are connecting or networking with people who don't share our convictions and our faith? Okay, give us your personal example. Tell us how you are doing it. Quickly, we have 3 more questions to go. Okay, I have the first response here. Emiola O says, no, please mingle as long as your principles cannot be corrupted. Okay, Audrey Special says, there's nothing wrong with networking with them. Please, my money is with them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Who else? Okay. Oh, sorry, I missed some responses on Facebook. Yeah, the Facebook people are on fire tonight. So Josephine says, so it would be unfair for one party to prevent another from having a life because of marriage, as long as they agreed on the friends and friends they both have. Thank you very much. Wisdom Johnson says, have friends by all means. Define your relationships, but set boundaries. This goes, okay, for both spouses. Elsie says, well, Jesus hung out with tax collectors, unbelievers as well as his disciples. So by all means, please network with unbelievers. That's your opportunity to win them over to Jesus. All right. Okay. Swanta Special says, there can be contact without contamination. How do you preach to them if you can't speak or relate with them? Feyikemi Bamboche says, you can network with other people as long as they will not corrupt, I believe you mean your mind. Audrey Special says, gradually you drop off on them with your lifestyle. Okay, Ebuade Doyin says, it depends on the context though, because their wealth is my inheritance. Okay, yes, Blessings says, you should mainly only come together to refuel and charge up self. Mostly network with unbelievers and sell your kingdom agenda. Thank you very much. Dr. Abino says you should network with them, but keep to your values. Fantastic. What more do I need to add? Nothing. Mayowa Babatunde says network with them, but don't get corrupted by them. Thank you. And I think that actually answers the follow-up question that follows this. This question. So this question number 7, the person says, how much networking is too much networking? How much networking is too much networking? Now, I think, like we have all said, the moment you define your values first as a person of faith, there are lines you do not cross, okay? There are things you don't do. There are things you don't talk about. But this is what I will also say. Let's not fixate on what we don't say or what we don't do, and let's focus on why do we want to network with people. Okay? Why do you want to network with people? I will encourage you to network with people for the purpose of your career, for the purpose of your business. And if that is the reason for the relationships, then focus the relationship on the purpose for which it is established. Don't discuss personal issues in the business or career environment. Don't get personal with people who don't share your values. It's important. It's important. All right. So I think that helps. So can there be too much of networking? Is it possible for a person to, can you have too many relationships? In a sense, yes. I was reading in a book and the author said that each and every one of us, we have connectors. Picture it like you are like an electrical box that has opportunities for people to plug in. And that based on our temperament and personalities, we all have a limited amount, okay, of spaces people can plug in. And the moment you are fully occupied, you cannot bring in additional relationships. And so what I would say to you is, know your limits. Know how many people you can truly be authentic with in your relationship with them, okay? And make sure that you observe your own boundaries. Don't overstretch yourself in a bid to please people. So it is too much networking when you start violating your values, okay, to please people. When you start overstretching yourself to please people, when you do what you normally will not do just because of people that you are relating with. I think that is too much networking, okay? Let's move on. I want us to quickly round up because of time. Question number 8. I was married for over 3 years. Oh, no, sorry. We've answered that question. Yes. So this question number 8. How can I broaden my circle of friends? How can I find and become friends with great people? Okay. So while you are ruminating on that, let me read the response we have on Facebook from Wisdom. It says, how much networking is too much when the signal is bad or the network has no firewall to prevent against malware and Trojans? That's good. I had to stop writing because you echoed my thoughts already, but you are right on point. Thank you very much for your feedback and for your response. Okay, so let's help this person. Okay, how can I broaden my circle of friends? How can I find and become friends with great people? Let me say this quickly. Everybody has a need. Okay, don't be selfish in your need to relate with people. When you meet people, ask yourself the question, what does this person desire of me? What does this person, want from me? Like I said to us last week, relevance is finding a need for your gift in the lives of other people and doing an exceptional job of meeting that need. The moment the people already relating with you think highly of you, word of mouth marketing will work in your favor. Great friends don't have to go out of their way to make friends. That's the truth. So how do you broaden your relationship? How do you network with great people? Be a great friend. Be a great person. This is what I've noticed about so many people. Many people overestimate their need for others in their lives. But you need to understand, when you want great people in your life, they will be naturally attracted to you when you look like somebody who has something to offer them. People are not attracted to needy people. So make sure you are not a needy person. Make sure you don't relate with people from the perspective of your need. You relate with people from the perspective of your gift. Okay. Mayowa Babatunde says, to become friends with great people, it starts with you aspiring for greatness yourself. I couldn't have said that better. Thank you very much. So be a great person. You don't need people as much as you need yourself to be at your best. Let me say that again. You don't need people as much as you need to be at your best. As a matter of fact, nobody can do for you what you were designed to do for yourself. So don't overestimate your need for other people. Be great, be fantastic, and you will see a flow of great people thronging your life. Okay, now this is question number 9, and honestly speaking, I will need us to respond to this person. Quickly, let me read this response from Wisdom from Facebook. It says, you attract who you are. I will recommend the person to get the messages from P-Shags on Network 1 and 2. It's on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch Network 1 and 2 on my YouTube channel. Okay. Mayowa Babatunde says, P-Shags once said, people will help you succeed when it becomes evident that you will likely succeed without their help. Wow. Thank you for remembering that. Okay. It's all about you first. Thank you, Mayowa Babatunde. I think if I'm going to give awards this evening, I'm going to give to Mayowa Babatunde and Wisdom Way Forward. The two of them have been on fire tonight. Thank you very, very much. Okay. So this is the question I want us to deal with next. This question number 9. How do I overcome low self-esteem? How do I overcome low self-esteem? Okay. I want concise responses, especially from people who have dealt with this before. Okay, I know everybody deals with one form of inadequacy or insecurity from time to time, but for some people it's really overwhelming and they have to be intentional about coming out of it. So if you have dealt with low self-esteem before and you have overcome quickly in 2 lines, 3 lines, share your thoughts, help this person this evening. And after that, we take the last question and we are done for today. So while I wait for your responses, if you want to send in your question, please, there's a link in my bio. Okay, for those on Instagram, you will see Q&A with P-Shags. All right, click on that link. It's anonymous. You can send in your question. Okay, we would take those questions next week, Wednesday. Okay, we're dealing with 20 questions on relationships. Today we are covering 10, and next week we're going to cover another 10. So if you want us to respond to your question, you may not even be in need, but you think you want people to benefit from the response to that question, please use that link and send in your question. I'll try to post the link on YouTube and Facebook, okay, right now, so that whoever needs the link, you can click from the comments in Facebook and YouTube. For those on Instagram Live, please after the session, just check the link in my bio and you will be able to click on the link and send in a question. Wow, I'm so sorry. I neglected the people on YouTube for a while. Let me read a response from YouTube. I don't believe any person is created or equipped to give another everything. There must be a reason one party is uncomfortable, maybe choice of friends, or you feel like he or she isn't enough. Thank you very much for that response. Okay. So the link is on both YouTube and Facebook now. Let me read your responses to the last question. Okay, let me start with Ebuade Doing. You said, build positive relationships. The people you surround yourself with matters a lot. Thank you very much. Maya Babatunde says, combat low self-esteem with knowledge. At its core, it's a knowledge issue. Confidence comes with competence. Seek to know better and become better. Oh, these are fantastic responses. Thank you very much. Kolawale Osumo says, your esteem is tied to God's word. Study the word and believe what it says about you and declare them on a daily basis. Fantastic. Blessings Musugu says, from someone who was a low self-esteem ambassador, I would say build yourself in areas where you stand out. Know what you can do. Get better at it and don't try to force yourself in other areas. I mean, coming from Blessings, this is fantastic. Blessings is one of the most competent presenters of our time. Okay, I mean, so all you need to do is start following Blessing and say to yourself, if she dealt with low self-esteem, then I can deal with it. And please follow the advice she's giving here. Okay, she says, just do you. Clean Freak says, you have to intentionally be around people that motivate and appreciate you. That's important. Audrey's Apparel says, you are the prophet over your life. Speak what you want over yourself. It starts from your mind. How do you see yourself? Surround yourself with people who bring the best out of you. Thank you so much. Aureolua says, everyone has what they are great at. Find what you are great at, become excellent at it, and you would see yourself beat low self-esteem. Thank you very much. Ebuadedoyin says, stop waiting on people's validation. Start seeing what God is saying about you. Thank you very much, everybody. Babintin Abimbola says, love yourself first by recognizing what you are good at and by being kind to yourself. Challenge yourself by embracing those qualities you think are your weaknesses. Wow, this is fantastic. I wish there's a way we can just save all these comments. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, Eric Coombs says, always believe that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, as the Bible says. Clean Freak says, self-love is the first way to start the journey. Thank you very much, everybody, for your contribution. Ebuadedoyin says, God helped me to see myself differently from what people are seeing, and that changed my life since then. Omojo Hope says, keep improving on yourself and love yourself. Okay, let's go to Facebook. Elsie says, give yourself permission to feel good about yourself. Positive affirmations, positive confessions will help. Wisdom Way Forward says, change your environment and environment. We have many powerful motivational speakers on this platform tonight. Change your environment and your environment. What you feed on and what, who, or where you expose yourself to. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing and for sharing tonight. This is our last question for the day. I mean, after all those responses, I have nothing else to add. Okay, everybody is on point. Our last question for today. This person says, I met a lady a while ago. We talked for a while and I found out she was as passionate about purpose as I was. Her zeal for success drove me crazy. We started a serious relationship. And along the line, I noticed that her zeal died. All she does now is support my dream. She doesn't even work anymore. I love her a lot, but I just can't marry a housewife. I try to inspire her, but nothing works. Do I break up with her? I don't want a housewife. For the benefit of those on Mixlr and on Instagram Live, let me read this question again. This is our last question for today. I met a lady a while ago. We talked for a while and I found out that she was passionate about purpose as I was. Her zeal for success drove me crazy. We started a serious relationship and along the line, I noticed that her zeal died. All she does now is support my dream. She doesn't even work anymore. I love her a lot, but I just can't marry a housewife. I try to inspire her, but nothing works. Do I break up with her? I don't want a housewife. What do you say to this guy? Quickly, we are out of time. This is our final question for today. What do you say to this guy? Somebody help. If we have just 2 comments, we're good. We have crossed the 60-minute mark. So for those on Instagram Live, if this should cut off at any time, we would restart, but then we'll be done in just about 10 minutes. So please, let's keep it coming quickly. Let me give my perspective and then I will read the responses that come in after that. Okay, so what I'm going to say to this guy is this. Listen, first and foremost, imagine that you were already married. Okay, you see, it's not about we are not yet married so I can walk away. What it means is if you were married, you also will be insensitive. You will not be caring for this person. You said in the question that at a point she was driven, she was passionate. Somewhere along the line, her zeal just went south. Okay, her passion died. If you really care for this person, you should find out what happened. Something must have happened. Okay, I like what Audrey's Apparel says here. Where did the zeal go to? Something happened. Okay, so you ask her what is wrong. Okay, and you would know where to start the fixing from. Okay, so the first thing is to research, investigate what happened. Okay, if you're a person of faith, I would ask you also to take it to God in prayer, pray for this person. And when you find out what happened, then you may be able to help the person from there. Let me quickly read some of the responses we have. Kola Sumo says, I believe you should first have that discussion with her to know what happened that made her passion die. Okay, Maya Babatunde says, find out first what killed her zeal. It's something fixable. Try to fix it. Udiodon says, I think he needs to communicate how he really feels to her. So that's the starting point. Have that conversation. What happened? Discuss with this person. Number 2, there's something I'm seeing in this guy. A lot of people don't know. You are not in a relationship for what to get. You are in a relationship for what to give. So if you truly love this person, you do truly care for this person, I am going to encourage you to give the relationship another perhaps 12 months. And in that period, focus on what you are there to give. Perhaps you may be inspiring to her. She may find her inspiration again and everything is okay. For all I care, this lady may be dealing with depression. Okay, from the session we had some years back or sometimes back on depression, most of the time they don't know the reason why. There's nothing like the real reason why this person is just sorrowful, morose. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are truly there for the person. You are encouraging for this person. You are there to share your life with this person. Like I said, take it to God in prayer. If after about 12 months, okay, you sense peace in your heart to move on from the relationship, then you can lay this person down gently. Not before you have taken time to express how that you are truly committed to this person and you care about this person. That's why I'm recommending another 12 months of commitment, of dedication, of you being there for her. If at the end of that period, things are still not working, perhaps you are the reason for the death of the zeal. Perhaps what you are sensing as she is not zealous and all of that may be just an indirect way of her expressing how that she's not excited in the relationship. Okay, I am Broaden Oladimeji says, it's obvious that expectation blinds our eyes to see other people's need. Discover her need, support her, and seek for her growth. Give it time and watch it before taking a decision. Thank you very much, Daria Kinlaja. Thank you for being here. I wish you were here like some 1 hour ago. We would have benefited from your perspective. To the 10 questions that we have dealt with today, I really appreciate everybody who has been a part of this evening's session. We have dealt with 10 questions. Next week, Wednesday, we are going to deal with 10 other questions, and that wraps up the series 20 questions on relationships. Now, please take note. You want to make sure you join me next week, Wednesday, because that will be the final session for a while. I'm going to take a break and I'll be back in September. So next week, Wednesday, is my final session in this season. So you don't want to miss it for anything. After that, I'll be off for at least a month and I'll be back in the month of September. Okay. So please join me next week, Wednesday. Send in your questions. The link has been posted on Facebook. It has been posted on YouTube. It's on my bio on Instagram Live. So please use that link. Send in the questions you want to send in, and then we can take them next week. Wednesday. We're looking for 10 additional questions on relationships that we're going to deal with next week, Wednesday. Advedak says, very unlikely that the lady was pretending in the first place. He needs to talk to her and be attentive. Maybe he needs to help her find her fire. That's important. Okay, my Babatunde, thank you very much. Kolawale Osumo, thank you. God bless you all. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this. Let's draw the curtains on tonight's session. We will continue next week, Wednesday. Of course, you can catch, the whole session on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Segun Oke. Okay, the whole of this session will be there, so you can watch. You can share the link with your friends and loved ones. You know, one or two persons that need answers to questions that we have raised here tonight. Please go on my YouTube channel, forward to that particular question, send them the link, let them know at the particular minute they need to start watching from, so that they can get the answers that they are looking for. Especially that question on low self-esteem. It was really a robust response we got from everybody who contributed tonight. I really appreciate you all. I think perhaps this is my best session ever, getting everybody to contribute. I'm catching ideas. Maybe we should just continue like this. It's better when I'm reading your response than when I'm doing the teaching. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday. For those on MixLR, for those on Facebook, for those on YouTube, everybody on Instagram Live, I really appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this. I'll see you next week, Wednesday. Bye-bye.